What's up, guys? I'm Travis, and you're watching our upgraded SCX6 Trail Honcho build series. Come on! Come on! All right, welcome back, guys. Today's video is based on popular requests from you guys. And you know who you are. I have had a lot of people asking me, are you going to be running the Mickey Thompson Baja Pro X tires in the 6? Well, for you guys, as soon as these became available, I went ahead and snagged a set. Now, while I was there at my hobby shop, I noticed they happened to have some brand new Treal Hobbies Honeycomb wheels in purple. So we grabbed a set of those. And then we're going to go ahead and take the stock foam out of these Mickey Thompsons, and we're going to be running it with the Crazy Crawler Extreme Plus foams that I've got in these Super Swampers. I've got in my Hyrex. I love these foams, guys. These are awesome. Now, before we get into that, I have also had a lot of people asking me since the last video, when is your update going to be on these shocks? What did you think of them? Did you run them around? Yes, I did. So here's what I think about these shocks, guys. These are the Vidon shocks that are 150 millimeters, so 5 millimeters taller than stock. Now, when we did this video, I found out they're actually 8 millimeters taller than stock, so it gives you a little bit more clearance there, especially when you're running around some big tires like this. I believe that's going to be an advantage to us. Now, I also love the fact that it has this progressive spring rate on it, which is awesome. I love it. It works so well. I mean, the progressive spring rate really did help out a lot. It's also got a 6 millimeter shock shaft or rod as opposed to 5 millimeters on stock. So there's some of the basic pros about this, guys. Now the cons, and if you watch the video, you kind of know what's going on here, but I hate the fact that the piston comes out of the housing. I don't like the fact that there's no bladder in the top cap. They did that so that they could recess the nut that holds the piston onto the rod into that top cap. So you lost your bladder there, and I don't know why they have the piston coming out of the housing. It does stick. So those are kind of the cons, guys. Now, how did it work? I'd honestly have to say, they really did perform great. To keep the sticking down to a minimum, I went ahead and turned the preload adjuster for the spring rate down on the shocks a little bit more than I wanted, but that kept me from fully compressing the shock, running that piston out of the housing and up into the shock cap, and that's what's making it stick. Now, that's one other thing that I have to say that's bad about these shocks, guys. Vidon does not offer a replacement parts kit. They do not offer any other rate of spring. It's just, you got what you got, you know? So guys, one of the first things I'd like to say about these tires is the obvious. These are massive tires. These are really tall. They're a lot wider than any other tire I've got. And the lugs on these things are extreme. Let's compare this to the Super Swampers I've been running around. Now, guys, these tires look like they're going to do really good in a variety of different terrains. I love my Super Swampers. They do really well, but they are just not that good on the rock. If I go someplace like Moab or wherever there's a lot of slick rock, I really like to take my Hyrex. The Proline Hyrex do really good on the rocks. They do terrible in the mud. These do great in the mud and terrible on the rocks. So I'm kind of hoping that these Baja Pro X here with the lugs that they have and this tread design is going to be awesome in the mud, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to grab the rocks as well. Like I said, I got these tires because of you guys, by popular request. Everybody wanted to know about these. That's why we're doing this video, guys. Now, besides that, here is the stock foam that comes with the Proline Baja X. It also comes with the Super Swampers, and it also comes with the Hyrex. Now, what we're going to be running here, these crazy crawlers, let me show you the difference here. Look at this. See how this goes down real easy? Look at this. I'm pushing down the same, exactly the same on both of these. So what this is going to do, it's going to give you that side hilling capability that this foam cannot. Now, I went ahead and left one of these stock foams in one of the Baja Pro X tires and mounted it up just so I could show you guys the difference here. So this one has the crazy crawler foam. This one has the stock foam. So we'll start out by doing a compression test this way. You can see the difference. My hand really goes down a lot into this one where it's difficult to even get this one to compress. Now, the other thing, as far as the side goes, look at this. I can almost touch my fingers back and forth here. Here, you've got a lot of resistance. So when you're side hilling, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit better for you. So here's what these two look like when you're side hilling. Here is the one with the stock foam. I'm going to push down on it. Can you see the tire compressed down here? All the weight of the SCX6, because it's such a heavy truck, when you're side hilling and if you give on the sidewall, it's just going to flip over. Here is the Crazy Crawler Extreme Plus foam. Look at the side hilling on this. It doesn't compress near as much, guys. There is a huge difference there. So these are going to be awesome for side hilling. I have a lot of people saying, well, you know, the stock foam, it compresses a lot so that you can wrap the tire around the rock and get good traction there. I don't disagree with that. But if you had foams that did not compress, guess what? You can actually use the tread that's on the tire. When your tire compresses around a rock or an obstacle, you're using all of the tire here against the obstacle to get over it. When your tire does not compress as much, now you're actually using the tread pattern that was designed with this tire. So I believe that these foams help out tremendously, guys. All right, guys, we talked a little bit about the tires and the foams. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the wheels we're going to be mounting up. These are made by Treal Hobby. They're the Honeycomb cut design. These are 3-piece aluminum along with the aluminum beadlock here. It also has the aluminum wheel spacer in the back. These are gorgeous. I love this design. Maybe it's just because it's new to me, but I think they are very appealing to the eye. Don't get me wrong, I love my Vision wheels from Shift RC. I've got 2 sets of these and I've had 0 problems with them whatsoever, and they look pretty good too. So this is how these wheels come here. Packaged in a box, you get 2 of them to a set, and basically they are put together for you. They just didn't put all of the million Allens in here. Now guys, I went ahead and put a set of these together for the sole purpose is that I wanted to see if these were going to rub or bind on anything on the 6. I want to make sure they were going to clear the steering knuckles, clear the steering linkage, and nothing else is hitting whatsoever. The design of this wheel, the way that they milled this out, it does not hit anything. And the stock wheel spacers that this comes with clear everything great. And guys, with the width of this tire, as big as it is, I put these on the 6, and then I put the Super Swampers on the 6 that have this 20mm wheel spacer in it. Guess what? They stick out exactly the same amount. So you won't have to go buy a 20 or 30mm wheel spacer to clear anything or get the width that you want, unless you want a wider wheelbase. So the first thing we're going to want to do for mounting these up is take the old stock foam out. And all the Proline tires come with the same foam. Might be good on a vehicle that doesn't weigh as much, but on these, it's just not enough. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put our crazy crawler foam in. Best thing you can do is fold it in half and then just stuff it in there. Get one side in and go ahead and keep it folded in half and just work your way all the way around this thing until you get it in there. And like I said, you got to push pretty hard to get it to go. Don't rip your tire while you're doing this. Just kind of push it in there and muscle it and get it in there. Make sure it doesn't come out the other side. Almost got it. There we go. Okay, I got it in here. We're going to go ahead and run our fingers around here and try to center it up best we can. And then we're going to take it and we're going to run it back and forth like this. This is going to help center it as well. So do that a couple times. Run your thumbs around both sides here, all the way around the foam, and try to make sure it's perfectly centered. Maybe do this again. Whatever you got to do to make sure the foam inside this tire is perfectly centered. Okay. Now that we got that done, we're going to go ahead and take this apart so I can get the inner wheel off, and we'll put this in here. So we'll go ahead and start at a diagonal, just like I said, and then we're going to pull the rubber up on the tire and work our way around. The first part's pretty easy to get in, and then you'll notice, like I said, this will catch on your foam. So stick your fingers up from behind and guide it through the foam so you're not cutting it. All right, there we go. Now we've got it to that point. Now we're just going to go ahead and pull this rubber here on the tire all the way around, and we're going to push down. We want this to be completely inside the tire and centered as well, just like the foam. So this takes just a little bit. Don't pull on your tire too hard. You don't want to rip the rubber because you can do that here as well. It takes just a minute. Be patient with it and just work it. As you pull out on the rubber, push down on the wheel. Eventually you will get it all the way around to where you got enough of a bite you can pull the rubber up over. And now you just work your way around very simply. All right, now you'll have to push this down in there all the way. There you go, that should be pretty good. Once you get that part done, now you can go ahead and take this outer half of your front wheel here. Now guys, one thing I'd like to point out, on these tires here that have the G8 compound in them, there's a little orange dot on one side of these. If you take rubbing alcohol and a rag, it comes right off. Because guess what? These are directional tires. Right underneath the Baja, it says rotation, and it shows an arrow. So you will have two tires going one direction and two tires going the other direction. So when you put your half of the wheel on that you want to see, make sure you have it on the right side. So you're just going to drop it in there on top, and then you're going to pull out on your rubber. There's a groove right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a really nice groove where this fits down inside of. So you're going to set that on there and just pull out on the rubber and push down on this until you get it in there where you want it and it's centered all the way around. When you push down on this part of the wheel half, you can feel it going into that inner wheel and centering itself. That's what you want. Now, what I like to do is I use just an everyday household eraser. I cut it to length so this would fit inside of the wheel. The reason why I'm doing this is because when we flip this over, now that wheel's going to rest against the eraser while I'm trying to push this half down. Otherwise, this is just going to push the other half back out. So the eraser kind of keeps it there. And all you got to do here is try to line up these holes best you can with the holes on the other side. And then do the same exact thing. You're going to push down on this and you're going to pull out on the tire. There we go. And once you get that all the way down and the same all the way around, you will feel the same thing. When you push down on here, you can feel this half of the wheel going into the center wheel. If I have problems getting these wheels together because they're so far apart, I'll put a longer Allen in two sides and screw it down, and then put your Allens in and then take those back out. But you do not have to do that with these wheels. The Allens are long enough to where you can just go ahead and put one on one side, one 180 opposite in the other side, and then one on the left and one on the right. You get those screwed down just a little bit, not all the way. Go ahead and put all the rest of the Allens in here. And what you want to do is you want to start tightening these And guys, do this by hand with just a driver. Do not use a power tool on this. If you strip these out, you're going to be very upset. So go ahead and start here, and you're going to screw this one down a little bit, and then this one, and then this one, and this one, and then you're going to work your way in a crisscross pattern. Now these two halves of this wheel, you can see a gap where they're going to go together. You want to keep that spacing the same. You don't want one side to go all the way down and you have a big gap over here and nothing over here. So you're going to work your way around this, and it's going to take a minute, but that's going to go ahead and set this down nice and even all the way around, so that when you're going down the trail, your tire's not doing this because it's uneven. It'll roll down the trail straight. And that's what we want. So let me go ahead and put these in here, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's get stuff for a little bit, then it kind of starts tapering off.
Now, once you get about a 1/16 of an inch of the gap left, not completely closed, but almost, what I like to do is one more time, I will just pull this out gently a little bit and try to see if it sucks down any further, because now you've got the compression of the screws pulling it down, and if you push down on it, it will stay. Now, this is possible. If you pull really hard, guys, you're going to pull the tire out of the groove that it's in for the wheel, and you'll have to start this process all over again. So be gentle with it. Just pull it out a little bit and work it around. Once you get both sides all the way around and you feel really good that it's down in the groove where it's supposed to be, now we can go ahead and tighten everything up. And you're just going to work your one side to where you only have a 1/16 of an inch left, so screw this side down until it stops. And then, like I said, go to the opposite side and do the same thing until it's down. Now you go left and right. Okay, so now we have them all down. They've all bottomed out and seated. Now I'm just going to go ahead and tighten them up the same way. One on this side, one on this side, and then left and right opposite each other. After that, just go ahead and tighten all the rest of them down. And then this might be overkill to some of you guys, but I go one more time. I'll start at the top and I just go all the way around the whole thing to make sure I have the same amount of torque on each one of these Allens, so they're all the same. And that way I'm making sure I didn't miss one either. So after that, go ahead and put all the rest of these in, take them down till they stop, back it off a quarter turn. What that's going to do is make sure that this beadlock ring is going down even as well, so it's not going to be cocked off either. Once you get that done, you've only got a quarter turn left on all these. Go ahead and do exactly what we just did. Tighten down this side, go 180 opposite, tighten down this side, do left, right, and then you can just tighten them all down in a circle just like we just did. Well, there you go, guys. We got our tires mounted up on the wheels, and we got the wheels and tires mounted on the truck. I think it looks great. I love this honeycomb cut design, and these tires are so beefy. I do think it was a good idea we left the Vidon 153 millimeter shocks on here, just because these tires are taking up so much real estate now. That's going to help with the clearance that we have here, and it also helps with the look a little bit as well. Now, guys, I did not put Loctite on any of these Allens, and I'm sure some of you are wondering, why didn't you do that? Well, I believe that the threads that we have on there are quite a bit, and it's enough to keep them in there, so I didn't put any Loctite on anything. You can put Loctite on all of it. It's not going to hurt nothing at all whatsoever, and I may end up doing that if I have a problem with them backing out. But I do check all of my Allens on my tires periodically. You should probably do that too. Other than that, guys, I think it's a great upgrade. It definitely looks better, and I think it's going to have better performance than the Super Swampers that the Hyrax had. I will let you know. Anyway, guys, I have some weather coming in here right now. It looks like it's getting ready to rain. I want to get out there and run around and get some footage for you guys, so I have some answers for you. On the next video, I will let you know exactly what I think of these. Can't see it being a bad thing, though, guys. Until the next video, which is just right around the corner, I am Travis. You're watching Upgraded RC. Peace out!